The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by these fine sponsors. Hear Rich's forecast hourly on these Blue Water Broadcasting radio stations.
Hey, good morning, everybody, on this Wednesday morning. It's the 12th day of October. Rich here, back in the saddle again, back from a trip from Southern California, which I'll tell you a little bit more about why I was there, if you care, at the end of this video. It's 55 degrees as I make this video, a little bit before 4 o'clock in the morning. The temperature will drop a few more degrees before dawn, so a light jacket will feel good because we'll end up right around 50 around dawn, but a nice recovery today. When is it going to rain again? It's getting to be a serious question, a serious issue. Also, the wildfire threat is increasing in Alabama. We'll look at the rain chances not only through the weekend, but also through next week and for the next 15 days for any signs of raindrops. Also, a check of the tropics. But first of all, we'll start off with some pretty eye-opening statistics, eyebrows-raising statistics about this current drought situation. Are you ready?
Pretty amazing when you consider our last rainfall was on September 18th, so about 25 days now, and our October rainfall sitting at 0. Of course, it's usually our driest month. We're about an inch below normal. For the year, we are 6.46 below normal. And by the way, back in 2001, we went 36 days without rain, just to give you an example of the last streak like that. U.S. Drought Monitor shows most of us are under a moderate or severe drought in east central Alabama, extreme drought in the far eastern counties. In fact, several counties in eastern Alabama under an extreme drought. More than 55% of the state under moderate to extreme drought. Here is the latest current map. We see a frontal system up in the Midwest, one that'll bring showers and thunderstorms there, but that front will become a dry front once it reaches us. High pressure in control today, another dry, warm day. As we look at future radar, not a drop in our area. A few showers out in the Gulf of Mexico and out in the Midwest ahead of that frontal system. But for us, the dry weather goes on, and I think that'll continue right on through the upcoming weekend. So for today, let's call it sunny and comfortable again with a high temperature around, let's say, a lower 80s. Tonight's low, not as cool, 55 the low, east winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour today. We'll check out in the tropics, and we see a well-defined hurricane out there in the central Atlantic. That is Nicole. Meanwhile, we're going to be watching over the next few weeks, the next few days, the Western Caribbean. Could be something interesting developing there. But look at Nicole. Look at the eye in Nicole as that storm continues moving northward. A hurricane which will be affecting Bermuda, we think, by tonight. In fact, there's the track taking it into Bermuda. So another area affected, another populated area affected by another hurricane following Matthew last week. No other storms in the tropics to worry about for the next 5 days. But again, we'll be watching the Western Caribbean where there's indications maybe something next week could develop. We'll be watching that. Here's a weak frontal system coming into the area Thursday. It loses its rain once it gets to Alabama, so it's a dry front once it arrives here. So upper 80 Thursday, around 90 on Friday, and it looks like a dry weekend forecast. Saturday, the front washes out, and we're back to the status quo with high temperatures in the 80s and lows at night in the low 60s. In fact, let's break it down for you. I think upper 80s look good for tomorrow, near 90 on Friday, which is pretty hot for October. Into the mid-80s on Saturday. Notice the morning lows go back to the low 60s, so the cool mornings are over. And then still dry right on through the upcoming weekend. In fact, the next 7 days, this is the rainfall outlook for the next 7 days. We should be dry, and that is not good news at all for our not only drought conditions, but our wildfire conditions. And as we look at the European out 10 days, you see the blue bars at the far right indicating the possibility of showers next weekend, not this weekend, the following weekend. There could be some showers as the frontal system moves through. We'll see if that pans out. Meanwhile, it looks like warm weather in the week ahead, but you see those cooler temperatures as we get past next weekend. You know, we're talking about days 7, 8, 9, and 10. They could possibly be a little bit cooler as we get towards that following week. And also the GFS out 16 days indicating, again, starting around, October 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, we could see some cooling of the temperatures with another frontal system. Hopefully a front that brings rain before the cooling weather gets here.
So I mentioned I was in Southern California for a few days, and that's why there were no videos for you. I was actually not at a weather conference this time. I was at an iconic conference. Neil Young warming up for Paul McCartney. And that's all, unfortunately, because of a maybe food poisoning or a stomach virus. I didn't make it to day 3, but even the first, the greatest concert I've ever been to. And Greg and LaDonna, and also on BAMA Country with Bubba and Christy, and at 11 o'clock this morning at RichThomasWeatherNetwork.com, and another video for you tomorrow morning. You can count on it at 5 a.m. Have a great day today. It's good to be. I'll see you later.
Rich Thomas Weather.